Sir, she named you as the father. Nathan Reed's hand froze mid-signature on the $50 million contract. The hospital's words echoed through the phone, crushing the air from his lungs. Emily, his ex-wife. The woman he'd divorced 6 months ago in a lawyer's office with surgical precision and zero emotion. That's impossible, he whispered, but his mind was already calculating. 6 months since the divorce. 32 weeks premature. December, the Thompson deal celebration. The night they'd both tried to pretend their marriage wasn't already dead. Mr. Reed, the baby's in intensive care. She has no one else. His assistant appeared at his door, confused by his sudden stillness. Nathan stood abruptly, his chair rolling backward. Cancel everything, I have to go. Before you hear what happened next, I need you to do something for me. Hit that subscribe button right now because this story gets more twisted than you can imagine, and you won't want to miss a single minute. Then drop a comment telling me what city you're watching from. I want to see how far this story travels. Trust me, by the end, you'll understand why this moment in that hospital changed everything. Now, let me tell you how a single phone call can destroy and rebuild your entire world in the same breath. Nathan's Porsche cut through Manhattan traffic like his thoughts cut through his carefully constructed life. Emily had named him, after everything they'd destroyed between them, after the bitter silences and the colder goodbyes. She'd spoken his name when it mattered most. His phone buzzed. Marcus, his CFO. Not now, Nathan snapped, rejecting the call. Mercy Hospital loomed ahead, its white walls gleaming in the afternoon sun. Nathan parked illegally and didn't care. Inside, the receptionist's eyes widened in recognition. I'm here for Emily Brooks. 4th floor, Mr. Reed. Dr. Porter is expecting you. The elevator crawled upward. Nathan loosened his tie, his reflection in the polished doors showing a man he barely recognized, jaw tight, eyes uncertain. The last time he'd seen Emily, she'd signed the divorce papers without looking at him. Well, almost without looking. There'd been one moment, one flicker of something across her face, but then it was gone. Dr. Porter met him at the nurse's station. Mr. Reed, the baby. I want to see her first. Room 418. But please, she's been through. Nathan was already walking. His heart hammered against his ribs as he approached the door. What did you say to the woman who'd named you the father of her child when you'd spent the last year barely speaking to her? He pushed the door open. Emily lay in the hospital bed, pale as the sheets, dark circles carved beneath her closed eyes. She looked fragile, vulnerable. Words he'd never associated with the fierce, independent woman who'd walked away from their marriage with her head held high. Her eyes opened. Confusion, then recognition, then something that made his chest tighten. You came, she whispered. You named me as the father of your child. What did you expect? Emily's laugh was bitter, hollow. I didn't have anyone else to call, Nathan. Is it true? He moved closer, his hands gripping the bed rail. Is he mine? She held his gaze without flinching. Yes. Why didn't you tell me you were pregnant? Emily turned her face away. Would you have believed me? We were barely speaking by the end. That night in December, Nathan said quietly, after the Thompson deal, I found out 2 weeks after the divorce was finalized. Her voice cracked. I tried to call you, but your number had changed. Nathan felt anger surge through him. You could have contacted me through the company. And say what? Emily's eyes flashed. Sorry to bother you, but that night we had pity sex might have resulted in a baby. You made it very clear you wanted a clean break, Nathan. No alimony, no shared assets. Just a surgical removal of me from your life. You agreed to those terms eagerly, if I recall. I wanted out too, Emily admitted, her voice dropping to a whisper. We were making each other miserable. A nurse interrupted, mentioning medication and brief visits. Nathan nodded, but Emily's next words stopped him at the door. Have you seen him? Nathan froze. A son. His son. Somewhere in this hospital, connected to machines, fighting to breathe. No. Will you? Before you leave? The question hung between them like all the unspoken words from their failed marriage. Nathan swallowed hard. Yes, I'll see him. The NICU was quiet, controlled. A nurse led him to an incubator where a tiny form lay surrounded by monitors and tubes. The baby was impossibly small, translucent skin stretched over delicate bones, a dusting of dark hair that was pure Emily. You can touch him through these ports, the nurse explained. Nathan's hand trembled as he reached through the opening. With one finger, he touched the baby's hand. Tiny fingers curled around his, gripping with surprising strength. Something inside Nathan's chest cracked open. Does he have a name? Not yet. Miss Brooks wanted to wait. Nathan stared at the small face, searching for himself, for Emily, for answers. His phone buzzed. The world outside, demanding his attention. But for the first time in years, Nathan Reed didn't care about the world outside. He carefully withdrew his finger, but the baby's grip had already imprinted itself on something deeper than his skin. "I'll be back tomorrow," Nathan told the nurse, his voice rough. Outside the hospital, Nathan sat in his car for 20 minutes, staring at nothing. His phone exploded with missed calls. Marcus, his lawyers, board members. He ignored them all and dialed a different number. "James, I need a paternity test. Discreet. Fast." 3 days later, Nathan returned to Emily's hospital room. She was sitting up, color returning to her cheeks, but her eyes were guarded when she saw the envelope in his hand. "Really, Nathan? You couldn't just believe me?" "I had to know." He opened it, scanned the results, then handed it to her. 99.9%. Emily's hands shook as she read. Satisfied? "No." Nathan pulled a chair close. "I'm angry. I'm confused. And I'm terrified because I have a son I know nothing about, and his mother is a woman I thought I knew but clearly didn't. What do you want from me?" Emily's voice cracked. "The truth. All of it. Why didn't you fight harder to tell me?" Emily's composure shattered. "Because I was ashamed, Nathan. We'd failed so completely at being married that I couldn't bear the thought of failing at being parents too. And I was scared you'd think I was trying to trap you, trying to get your money. Is that really what you think of me?" "I don't know what to think anymore," she whispered. "We became strangers." Nathan leaned forward. "Then let's stop being strangers. For him." Nathan leaned 40 in Section Time. The subscribe to much the play. The Sessa played over have. And the Sessa played over half. "Just for him?" Emily asked, something vulnerable crossing her face. Before Nathan could answer, Dr. Porter knocked. "Miss Brooks, there's been a complication. The baby's oxygen levels dropped. We need to intubate." Emily tried to stand, stumbled. Nathan caught her, his arm around her waist. "Let me help you." They rushed to the NICU together, Emily gripping Nathan's hand so tightly her nails left marks. Through the glass, they watched doctors work on their son, and for the first time since the divorce, they weren't on opposite sides of anything. 2NX. "He's stable now," Dr. Porter said 40 minutes later. But Emily had already collapsed against Nathan's chest, sobbing. Nathan held her, his own throat tight. "He's going to be okay. He's a fighter. Like his father," Emily whispered against his shirt. They stood like that until Emily pulled away, embarrassed. "Sorry, I got your suit wet." "I don't care about the suit, Emily." She looked up at him, really looked, and Nathan saw the question in her eyes before she asked it. "What are we doing, Nathan? What happens when he comes home?" "He needs a name first," Nathan said quietly. "We can't keep calling him the baby." Emily's lips trembled into a small smile. "I was thinking Alexander. My grandfather's name." "Alexander Reed," Nathan tested the words. "It's perfect." "Alexander Brooks Reed," Emily corrected. Nathan nodded slowly. "Fair enough." 2 weeks later, Alexander was cleared to leave the NICU. Nathan arrived at the hospital with a car seat he'd spent an hour learning to install correctly, watching YouTube videos in his office like a nervous teenager. "You figured it out," Emily said, a hint of amusement in her voice. "I'm a fast learner when motivated." But as they prepared to leave, Emily's smile faded. "Nathan, I need to tell you something. My apartment lease ended last month. I was supposed to move to Boston for a gallery position, but obviously that didn't happen. I don't have anywhere to take him." Nathan had been expecting this. "Come to the penthouse." "What?" "I've had a nursery set up. There's space. You need help, Emily. And whether you like it or not, so do I. I don't know anything about babies." "This is insane," Emily said, but her resistance was weakening. "Probably," Nathan agreed. "But what's the alternative? You staying in some cramped temporary place alone with a premature baby? Let me do this. For Alexander." Emily studied his face. "Just for Alexander?" "For now," Nathan said honestly. Let's take this one day at a time. Emily took a shaky breath. Okay. Temporary. Temporary, Nathan echoed, knowing neither of them believed it. That first night in the penthouse, Alexander woke screaming at 2 a.m. Nathan stumbled from his bedroom to find Emily already in the nursery, pacing with the baby, tears streaming down her face. I don't know what's wrong, she said desperately. I've fed him, changed him, everything. Nathan took Alexander gently. Let me try. He walked slowly, humming tunelessly, and miraculously, the crying stopped. Emily stared at him. How did you? I have no idea, Nathan admitted, still swaying. Emily laughed through her tears, and Nathan realized he hadn't heard that sound in years. Something warm unfurled in his chest. 3 months passed. Nathan converted his home office into a workspace for Emily, filling it with art catalogs and gallery connections. He'd offered her a position directing the Reed Foundation's new arts initiative, and after a week of arguing, she'd accepted. You're only giving me this because of Alexander, she'd said. I'm giving you this because you're brilliant, Nathan had countered. And because I should have supported your career when we were married instead of expecting you to be Mrs. Nathan Reed. Emily had gone quiet then, blinking rapidly. One evening, as they watched the city lights after putting Alexander down, Emily broke their comfortable silence. This is strange, isn't it? Living together again after everything. Good strange or bad strange, Nathan asked. I'm not sure yet. But you're different. You listen now. You're present. Having your life upended tends to change your perspective, Nathan said. The old Nathan would have been on his phone through dinner, mentally calculating profit margins. Why did you invite me that night? Emily asked suddenly. The Thompson celebration in December. We were practically separated. Nathan set down his wine. I wanted to remember what we'd been before things went wrong, and maybe I wanted to see if there was anything left to save. And was there? I thought there wasn't, Nathan said honestly. But now I'm not so sure. Emily's voice dropped to a whisper. I'm scared, Nathan. Not just of getting hurt again, but of hurting you. Of falling back into the same patterns. I'm scared too, he confessed. But I'm more afraid of not trying. Of Alexander growing up with parents who were too stubborn to work through their issues. We had real problems, they didn't just disappear. No, Nathan agreed. But maybe we have better reasons now to fix them. Emily moved closer on the couch. Then, let's try. Really try this time. Nathan pulled her into his arms, and for the first time since their divorce, Emily let herself believe in second chances. 6 months after that hospital call changed everything, Nathan Reed had learned the most important truth of his life. Sometimes the greatest successes come from admitting your failures, and sometimes family finds you exactly when you've stopped looking for it.